Hi, and welcome to Saturday Night Spiritual. I'm the Reverend Sheena Metal, and I'm coming to you live from my own sacred space tonight, doing services from home for a while until given the order to do otherwise. We have a lot of folks at Founders MCC in our congregation and on our staff who have been suffering from either exposure to or the contraction of COVID. And so we're doing things a little different while everybody gets better, and terrific. I'm a couple of minutes late. I'm sorry. I ran across a very unpleasant looking accident on the way home and had to reroute myself. So you almost got this from the car, but luckily I made it home in time to share Saturday Night Spiritual with you from this wonderful place at the beach where I'm currently spending my time. It's February, it's Valentine's weekend, right? So how could I not talk about love? So expect there to be talk about love. And love is something that's been on my mind a lot lately. I think it's something that in my ministry and with my spiritual clients I deal with a lot. So we're going to talk about that later. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to let you know where you are. This is the Founders Church from the MCC denomination. I'm the Interfaith pastor here. I've been with the church since 2019. I'm honored and proud to be so. This is the third year of Saturday Night Spiritual? Yeah, third year. We're doing 2.5 years. This is in our third year. We're at foundersmcc.org and SaturdayNightSpiritual.com. That's the official page for the church and the community page for this service. If you are looking to watch past broadcasts of Saturday Night Spiritual, I've created a page. It's Rev Sheena, foundersmcc.com. Rev Sheena, foundersmcc.com. If you go there, it goes to a secret page on my website, which is sheenametalspiritual.com, that basically has all the dates, all the services, links, and all of the sermon titles. So pick something that interests you or find some time to watch them all. So honored to have a cyber audience always, especially now in this time of COVID when the cyber audience has become so important to us. And I'm so honored to be here and to be a part of MCC and of the Founders Church and to work alongside all of the amazing clerical staff and board and the folks that are part of our staff and our volunteer team. Now more than ever in this time of COVID, we are looking for a place to put our humanity, to put our passion, and to put our service, and into a spiritual community that you belong to is a wonderful way to do that. As ministers, I feel like I'm never off duty. My office hours are just open. So if you feel free to need to reach out to us, if you need to, you can go to foundersmcc.org. I'm at sheenametalspiritual.com. We try to make ourselves as accessible as we can because we understand this is a hard time and that you need us. I know that Valentine's weekend can be a very hard time for people. I know that love and hearts are a very fragile and gentle part of the human makeup. We understand that, and I'm here to help, and I'm here to be here for you, and so is everyone here at Founders. That's an important thing to know. I am here because this wonderful church and these wonderful people have put their faith in me to bring all people together regardless of their religious ideologies or cosmologies or communities. I believe the true religion is love, so Valentine's weekend is like my jam. And I'm honored that Founders has brought me here to do this. And you may ask yourself, what does interfaith mean? I probably get that question once a day from someone. What does interfaith mean? What does it mean to be interfaith? And I always say this, it means you are existing on the earth with everyone else. No matter what your faith is, even if your faith you believe is no faith at all, even if you don't believe in a higher power or God or Jesus or Buddha or universe or goddess, you still have faith that the world will get better. You still have faith in humanity. So you do have faith. Your faith is just very three-dimensionally rooted, and that's okay. So you're already interfaith. Interfaith is the pie, right? And all the pieces of the pie are the various religions and spiritual bents and beliefs and ideologies. And then each little sliver of that piece is you. You decide, and you may say, I'd like a tiny slice of the Jewish pie piece because that's how I was raised and I still like the customs. And then you may say, but my wife is Catholic and there are things I love about going to church with her. So I'm going to take a little piece of the Catholic slice. But where I really belong is here in what I just call the spiritual slice, because I like crystals and I like my yoga class and I like meditating and I made a vision board. Guess what? You're interfaith because that's the pie. Isn't that wonderful? That's the beautiful thing about interfaith is it judges no one and it discludes no one. No matter how you count it, you're interfaith. Just like, let's say you go and you have 10 friends and you all decide to go, spit in a cup and get your 23andMe done. And they all come out completely different. Well, the one thing that is the same is every one of you, allegedly, is 100% human. That's how interfaith works. If you are on the earth, you are interfaith. It's just where in the pie you fall. So don't get distracted by labels and don't get wary of a new title you're not aware of. My goal here, and when I conceived this service with our wonderful senior pastor, Keith Mazingo, was to find a place where everyone belonged, to share the love and the inclusion and the beauty and the community of founders with everyone, irregardless of their faith, irregardless of how they grew up, in what religion or no religion at all, irregardless of how they identify spiritually. Because we are learning now, right, like gender, like sexuality, that spirituality is a spectrum. And we all fall somewhere on that spectrum. Because every one of us every day is creating our own spiritual palette. And I know Pastor Keith laughs at me when I talk about the spiritual salad bar, which I always say every month I'm not going to talk about the spiritual salad bar, and then every month I do. When we go with our 10 friends, right, who just did our 23andMe, and we decide to go to Sizzler and enjoy the salad bar, there's more on the salad bar than any of us could ever take in one meal. If you got everything from the salad bar, your plate would be this high. It's tempting, but most people don't do it. Many things on the salad bar you don't even want. They're things you don't like, or they're things you like okay, but you don't want to put them on your plate. So here we are with our 10 friends. We've just done our ancestry and 23andMe and discovered we're all 100% human. Now we're at Sizzler, where we're discovering that we're 100% hungry, and we're putting the things on the plate that resonate with us. And the things that don't resonate with us, we're not putting on our plate, but we're not angry. I'm not cursing the onions because I don't like them. I'm not, saying somebody come and take away these green peppers because I don't like them. I am allowing everything to be at the salad bar. I simply put on my plate the things that I love. So here you are with your friends, right? You've all made your plates. Now you're all sitting down and you're having dinner. And you're surrounded by tables of other people who've also gone to the salad bar and are taking whatever they want and putting it on their plate. Yet everybody is smiling and laughing and enjoying this communal meal together even though everybody's plate is different. And that is interfaith, my friends. We all put what we want on our plate, and we leave what we don't. And even those of us that would tell you, I am devoutly this, I'm devoutly that. I don't want to think about anything else because I'm a devout Christian. And then you go to their house and there's an amethyst geode on the shelf, or they're talking about meditating, or they're in a yoga class. We all are allowed to discover our spirituality every way that we can and create our palette, build our salad bar plate, be whomever it is that we want to be. We're still 100% human. We're still spiritual. We're absolutely interfaith. And we're finding our best way to reflect the connection that we feel to our higher power. And if you are an atheist or an agnostic, I will say the connection that we feel to the earth and everything in it. And if you secretly still love things about the religion that you grew up in, wonderful. My mom was about as metaphysical as the day was. I mean, she had books on Edgar Cayce. She had books from Sylvia Browne. She had crystals and dragons and fairies and a cauldron. But when Christmas time came, that woman put out a nativity that was so big that it took the entire dining room. It was like, it looked like people were lining up to see Jesus, to see the baby Jesus, the way people would like line up to see the Beatles. There were shepherds and donkeys and camels, and they were stretching all across the room because she loved the story of the birth of Jesus, and she loved Jesus, and she loved the teachings of Christ. But there was a whole other side of her that loved herbal magic, that loved the healing power of crystals, that loved Native American religion. And it all worked because that is the joy of being interfaith. You can be absolutely anything that you want to be. It's like we are learning with our sexuality, right? How we identified when we were in our 20s or our 30s, for a lot of folks, has changed as we have learned more about ourselves and learned more about the options that are out there. I used to identify as bisexual. Now that I've learned more about pansexual, I identify as pansexual. We learn as we go, right? And it's okay. And it's the same thing with your spirituality. It is an ever-evolving thing. But remember, you're still in the interfaith pie. So you can be anything you want. And that, I think, is the beautiful thing about knowing that something like interfaith spirituality exists. Not feeling pressure, like there is a pressure if you go outside of the things that you were raised in or the things that you now say you believe in. Because what Spirit wants for us, what God wants for us as human beings, as spiritual beings having a human experience on the earth, Spirit wants us to constantly evolve and discover and grow. Think of a lifetime on the earth as a semester of school for the soul. So when you're a college freshman, you think you are one person, right? You're coming out of high school, you've just turned 18, you're going into college, and you think you know everything. As you spend those 8 or 10 or however many semesters of college that you do until you decide you are done with your education, you grow and change and become different and stronger and wiser and more educated because you are being subjected to different things, both on an academic level and a social level. It is the same exact thing, my friends, with your spirituality. You are growing and you are changing and you are evolving, and you don't have to know where you're going to wind up. You just have to be in the now, channeling right what the Buddhists call the isness, and enjoy being right here where you are. and loving. We were put here to love others around us. So here at Founders, they do a wonderful thing that I love. It's called the Passing of Peace. And since I am the founder of a nonprofit of peace, love, kindness, and unity, I call mine the Passing of the Peace, Love, Kindness, and Unity. It's one of my favorite things about church, and it's a thing that while we are not together in a room physically, it's very hard to understand how to do. I would love for you to take part in that this week by reaching out to either people that you love, because it's all about love tonight, that maybe you haven't talked to in a while, and reconnecting, just sending a text and saying, hey, I know this is a crazy time of COVID and I haven't talked to you in 24 months, but man, I love you and I just want you to know that. Or whether it's reaching out to someone that you would love to get to know and say, hey, you know what? We have a mutual friend and so. I always see your posts on his page. I love them. I'm Sheena. Let's get to know each other. Part of why we're here, a huge part of why we're here, is to love. It's to connect. So if you, for me, would do that, and in the next week, try to connect to 10 people, either that you haven't talked to in a while or that you don't even know, and grow your tribe. Because if the ultimate goal during this lifetime is to lift one's vibration, right? To exist on a higher plane of energetic frequency, then there is no better way to grow your vibe than to grow your tribe. And your tribe is about love. This month, I decided to call my sermon, Find Out What You Love. Last month was Discover What Serves You, which is wonderful and important to do at the beginning of a new year when you have a fresh start. But this month of love, right? February, this weird little month, it's kind of stuck between the big January, new year, we're just come out of the holidays, we're getting a fresh start, and that beautiful, it's March and spring is coming. We're saying goodbye to the winter, at least here in this part of the world. Then April comes and it's Easter and it's Passover and the rain comes and it warms up. This little month in the middle here, this little strange tiny month that sometimes doesn't know what it's supposed to be, except that it holds this magical holiday that is Valentine's Day. It is a month of love, right? When you see a calendar and the colors have a month, usually February is red or pink or both. I'm wearing my red striped shirt. This is my lucky shirt. Someone told me last week that when they watch videos where I'm wearing this shirt, it gives them a seizure. So I hope nobody is having a seizure from the stripes. I'm not a ringmaster or a referee, but sometimes I feel like I'm both as a minister. Love is probably the most potent and powerful emotion that exists in the world. Love can bring people back from comas, literally, right? When my father had a bad heart, and he had many heart surgeries in his life, starting with a massive heart attack he had when he was 39. My dad was kind of a strange guy. Very hard to reach. I don't think cared much about living one way or the other. I don't think he cared about being on the earth. And every time he had one of these massive surgeries, he would try to die. And every time the doctor and the nurses would call my mom and say, you need to go to the hospital and hold his hand and tell him to come back. And she would do it. And even though they weren't terribly close and it wasn't a fantastic marriage, and I don't even know that I would tell you they were friends, he came back every time. That is the magic. That's the hard thing about this time of COVID, right? You can't go to the hospital and be with your loved ones and hold their hand and say, I need you to come back to me. Love can make people do superhuman things, right? There's that famous story about the woman and her baby that got in the car accident, and her leg was pinned, broken and pinned, and she couldn't get out of the car. And she was on this winding road, sort of in the middle of nowhere. And to protect her child, whom she loved, she yelled so loudly that a truck driver a mile away heard her over his engine and the radio he was playing in the truck with closed windows. He heard her scream, and he went to her and rescued her and the baby. That's what you'll do for someone you love. Love can heal us. Just to get back to our loved ones, just because we know we have to get home and take care of our partners, our children, our animal companions, we will heal because of love. We will overcome pain because of love. We will overcome grief because of love. When my mother was young, she had crippling anxiety, horrible agoraphobia. And she said the thing that cured it was when she gave birth to me, because she knew that I needed someone to be there for me, to get up every day and take me to school and go out and get the groceries. And she said, your love, my love for you, and your love for me, even as a baby, pushed me up past that place of anxiety and enabled me to get out and start doing things again. That is the magic of love. And sometimes when you feel like all is dark, or when you feel like you're confused, or when you feel like you don't know where you're going, all you really need is to tap into something you love, or tap into something or someone that loves you. And it can push you out of that place you're in, out of that paralysis, out of the anxiety, out of the depression. Love, 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 love. I dated somebody for a long time who had very crippling depression. And I think it was probably love, my love, the cat's love, and a lot of strawberry malts that got him up off the couch and pulled him out of that depression. Our love it's a tool, right? It's a weapon for good. It's a force. And all of it comes from within us, right? We're given it. We're given it when we come here. It's a gift from Spirit. We're given it, and we're also allowed to cultivate it. It grows. We're given this much, right, when we're babies. But when you think about it, that's a big part of a baby. And then we can grow it and grow it and grow it as we're here longer. Or we can shrink it. Love is a muscle. You get used to using it. When you stop using it, it gets hard to learn to use it again. And the more you use it, the more it grows, right? It's like the story of the Grinch who stole Christmas, right? When he steals all the presents and he takes everything, right? The roast beast, the last bulb, Cindy Lou Who's bow. He thinks he's going to stop Christmas. But Christmas is love. And what happens when he hears the Who's singing, even though they wake up and all their stuff is gone and there's no presents and nothing to eat for Christmas and no Christmas trees, they're still all holding hands and singing. What is the quote? And in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. Having power outage problems here at the beach. Part of the reason I was late. Let's see if we can fix this really quick. You know, love. Love grew the Grinch's heart. Love made it all okay. Love and love and love and more love. Love is the answer. So you have this wonderful thing that Spirit gave you, and it's yours to do with what you want. And nobody can take it away. People can try. People do sometimes not great things to each other. Grief is hard. Loss is hard. Illness is hard. But ultimately, only you can shrink the love within you. Right? So that's why this month is find out what you love. Now, that just doesn't mean people, although people are a fantastic way to start. Your tribe, right? And your animal companions, find out what you love. What makes you tick? Because I will guarantee you, your answer to that is what you love. What makes you tick? My family, my career, my softball league, right? My chess club, my favorite TV show, my car, my trips to Hawaii. Those are all things that you love, right? Those are the things in your life that make you grow the ball of love within you. But oftentimes on this earth, we lean towards the glass half empty instead of the glass half full, right? We spend a lot of time talking about what we don't have. I'm single. I like my job. I didn't get a raise. I like my neighbor. It is your right to exercise your free will on the earth. God has given us as well. And say, here are the things in my life I want to fix, or here are the things in my life I don't like. You should. It's good to know that. It's good to touch base with that, to be in touch with what you'd like to change in your life. But first and foremost, because the glass is half full. It's not half empty. That's an illusion. It's half full. What's in the glass is what matters. We need to focus on the things that we love. Find out what you love. Today, after you're done watching this, go and get a piece of paper and find a red pen and write down, what do I love? And make a list. And the things on that list, those are the things that are literally keeping you alive. Those are the most important things. Those are the things that the love within you will grow when you focus on those things. Find out what you love. It's very important to know about the things that make you tick. Where does the love come from? What are the things that human beings need on the earth? Essentials, right? Of course, water and air and food and the ability to go to the bathroom. You know, you got to blink your eyes or they dry out. Swallowing is good. Heart beating is great. Lungs working, expanding is wonderful. But emotionally and spiritually, what do people need on the earth? Number one, we want to love and be loved. Number two, we want to feel like Spirit has a purpose for us. That's Spirit showing us that they love us, right? God says, you're a doctor, you help people. God says, you're a teacher, you're going to help these children. You know by doing that, by performing your service, you are showing God your love, and God is showing you their love as well. Number three, you want to feel like you have a place on the earth. It's love. You want to know that the whole of the everything loves you and accepts you and needs you and says to you, hey, this earth wouldn't be the same without you. It's like the movie It's a Wonderful Life, right? You think that nothing matters, but then you realize if it wasn't for you, how the world would be different and it wouldn't be nearly as great. You are finding out your place in the earth. These are the things that human beings need emotionally. And lastly, contact, right? Community, connection. Whether it's connection to self, self-love, whether it's connection to God, spirituality, whether it's connection to other people, community, right? What was it that Christ's teachings, what was the summation of the teachings of Christ? Connection, community, love. Love is all there is, my friends. All you need is love. Those are the names of the last 2 love sermons I've done here with Saturday Night Spiritual. But I think in this time of COVID, when we feel isolated and when we are changing inside, it is so important that we find out what we love. And we make note of that. What do you love? Those of you that are watching, do you have questions about love? Do you want to ask me one? Because I can see and I'll answer your questions right now. We can interact. You can tell me what you love and I'll talk about it live right now. That's the beauty of how we're doing this now, is I can actually see your questions and see you. I can see Karen and Frank and Harvey, probably other people if I scrolled back, but then you'd see my finger stuck in the camera. It looks weird. Here it comes for you. Love can be scary because the loss of it is devastating. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all, right? That quote? It's true. But it's scary because it's taking a chance with your heart. It's taking this very fragile organ and taking a chance that it could get hurt. But guess what? If you don't use it, it just shrinks and atrophies. And you don't need that. It's interesting because as an energetic healer, when I look into people, there are 3 hearts, right? There's your actual physical heart that beats, the organ. There is your heart chakra, which is your spiritual heart. And then there is your heart, right? Your heart, your emotional heart, which people say, oh, you've got a great heart, or you're all heart. There goes my light again. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's your actual beating heart organ. It just means that it's your emotional heart. We have many hearts. I don't know why that keeps happening. Perhaps it's the ghost of Saturday Night Spiritual. It's important that we nurture them all, right? Physiologically, we know if you don't take care of your heart, you're in big trouble. From a spiritual perspective, if your heart chakra is off balance, it's not a good thing. Oftentimes, if your heart chakra is off balance, your third eye chakra is off balance. That's how you connect to spirit from a chakra perspective. Your crown chakra can be off. That's your thinking head, right? Your solar plexus chakra can be off. That's your gut. It's your intuition. It's how you connect to others. All of these things, just if your heart chakra is off. And I think that there's so many things in the world that make us heartbroken. Not just people that we've dealt with or death or loss, but also things we see on the news, things we know are going on in the world, things we see on Facebook. It can be hard. So those of you that are watching, tell me, where is your heart? So Sandra says, love for my dog is the best. I agree wholeheartedly. I have a 10-month-old kitten, and he is the most beautiful thing in my life. And he got me through the death of my 18-year-old cat that I lost in November. She got me through the death of my mother and breakups and all kinds of stuff. Animals know how to love on a pure spiritual level. The soul of your dog, Sandra, the soul of my cat, Cullen, the soul of my beautiful cat, Molly, who I love so much. Animals retain the purity of soul that we are given as babies. And they don't let others talk them out of it the way that we do. How many times do parents tell children, don't hug him. Don't tell her you love her. I have adult friends. I had a friend a couple months ago that said to me, don't tell people you love them on Facebook, because then the people in your life that you really love don't feel special. Well, obviously, if you're my best friend, you know that I love you in a different way than I love someone I'm telling them I love them because they're sad because someone they know died from COVID on Facebook. But we feel shame, right? Where should we say I love you? If I say I love you to her, is she going to get the wrong idea? If I say I love you, am I going to seem needy? We have so much reservation and doubt, right? Around saying I love you, around showing love, around talking about love. I have these two very stoic best friends. I mean, amazing. If I needed a kidney, they would both be there with one of their kidneys in their hand. But neither one of them was raised in a very gushy house. So they don't say I love you all the time. They're tough Irish chicks, I don't care. I just tell them I love them all the time. I text them I love them. I put I love you in the Christmas card because you can't harm another person by being yourself in regards to love. If anything, I think I've softened them both up and now they sort of say I love you in a weird way to me. By throwing love at somebody that you sincerely feel, you're only helping them. Nothing bad ever happened to anyone because love was thrown at them. Now, there's a difference in love and obsession. There's a difference in somebody who's saying, I love you to get attention or to do something crazy ex-girlfriend stuff. That's a whole nother thing. But honestly, somebody honestly feeling love, it's all good. And you should do everything you can to share love with people. As much as you can and as often as you can and always and forever. Because love is all there is. If you've ever felt wrong about feeling love for someone, sorry, folks. We're having technical difficulties. Please stand by. This is having a very hard time with the power surge staying on. Somebody ask a question while I'm... Talk amongst yourselves in the chat while I'm doing this. While I'm trying to get my light back. This has never happened before. I've had a lot of things happen. I may have to just hold that. All right. I think something blew when the power blew and shorted out my power cord a little bit. So I'm literally holding the light bulb. Only to me could this happen. The more love, the better, right? There is nothing but beauty that comes from loving another. And even with your animals, animals are great. Oh my goodness, throw as much love into them as you possibly can. They're beautiful and wonderful. Okay, thank you, Pastor Keith. I'm so glad you can see and hear me fine. I appreciate that. Sometimes when you're at the ocean, crazy things happen with power. When we first moved to this area in 1980, I think the power went out like every 3 days. So It was funny because when my mom passed and I cleaned out the chest in the hall, right? All our parents had the chest in the hall. There was a drawer and it was just full of candles. And I think some of them were like from the 60s. But, and I burned every last one of them after she died in tribute to her. But I think it was because the power went out every 3.5 days. So she kept that drawer stocked up for when it happened. I want you all to know how important it is that you continue to grow love in your life. I want you all to know how much God loves you and wants you to love others. And how this is really love is all of our superpower. We were given the gift of love to make the world a more beautiful place. And it's very, very important that we love as much as we can. Frank says, hi, Sheena. How does one really allow and accept love into their heart, even though they can openly give love? That's a hard one, right? It's a beautiful question, Frank. A lot of us, right, are much better at giving than receiving. And you'll notice I said us and included me. I think that those of us that are empaths, that are healers, that are givers, we are always thinking of ways to help others and make the world more beautiful. But I think that because we often get hurt, because we give more than we get, or we give a lot and get nothing, and it takes us a while when we're young to realize you give to give and you don't give in the hopes that somebody will give back to you. A little part of us gets a little hardened when it comes to accepting love. You have to think, Frank, of your heart chakra, right? As an open channel. You have to think of your heart chakra as your heart. So if you go and you get an echocardiogram on your heart, right? It's all about your injection and your ejection rates. It's not just about how much blood does your heart take in, or how much blood does your heart pump out. It's about, is the amount of blood that my heart is taking in and pumping out even? It's the same way with your ethereal heart, with your heart chakra. It's equal. You're supposed to be taking in an equal amount than you're giving out. Otherwise, you're not doing yourself any service. You're not truly executing your superpower of love if you're not letting anybody love you. And it's all about taking a chance, right? It's like holding your nose and jumping off the high dive. You have to take a chance and let love in. And many times I have asked myself, should I just harden up? Because how many times am I going to give and give and give in a situation, and then somebody is just going to emotionally slay me? Like, is there something wrong with me? Because people that do not properly execute their power of love, they will make you feel like, they'll gaslight you, right? They'll make you feel like there's something wrong with you because you love so much. And every time I tell myself, this is who I am, I don't have to apologize for who I am. I love from my soul, and I'm going to continue to be who I am. And if somebody can't handle who I am, then maybe they're not meant to be in the close spiritual periphery of my life. They're not my people. And that's okay, but I'm still going to be who I am. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to accept your open love. Just like people can't accept your kindness. Sometimes you open a door for somebody and they stare at you like you've hit them in the face with it. Not everybody understands how to accept love. But if we, Frank, don't keep giving love, they're never going to know how to accept it. And we have to set the example by accepting ourselves. It's hard. It's hard when you've been hurt. It's hard when your love ball has shrunk up a little bit, right? It's hard to allow it to expand. And your love ball is like your heart. It's not just about how much you give out. It's about how much you let in as well. You need both of those things for it to grow. So just try, honey. Just start. Just start and take a baby step. You know, if you want me to help you through it or you want to talk to me about it, you can reach out to me through my website and I will absolutely give you as much encouragement as I can. It's just about starting. And the worst thing in the world you can do is to crust over and close yourself off. That's not what Spirit wants for us. And it's not at all what we should be doing. You know? Pastor Keith, are you still with us in the chat? I'd like Pastor Keith, if he's here, to give you all the information for how you can donate to foundersmcc.org if you would like to the church. I like to call it help us to help you, because the more that we are doing, the more that we are helping you, and the more that you are donating, the more you're helping us to help you. Will you put the link up for how people can text to donate? I would love that. He's got all the good info on that because he's the best. I love your emoji with the rainbow around it, my friend. It's so beautiful. When do you ever see a pastor drink from a water bottle in the middle of a service? Welcome to the new time of COVID. That's what you text, my friends. That's how you donate. Oh, so Karen, you're also at the beach. Yes, everything goes in and out at the beach, right? It's crazy. I started a new web TV talk show, and sometimes I just disappear in the middle of it. And my program director said, "Sheena, what are we going to do about that?" I'm like, honey, I live at the beach. Sometimes it just happens. I'm literally hanging off the edge of the continent. Sometimes it just happens. So we just learned to go with the flow here. I would like to add to your day of love, your Valentine's weekend, your month of love, by doing a blessing for you. And maybe, Frank, this will start you off on a path of learning to open your heart. I think that we have been bred in society, right? That the definition of love is we're in a relationship with somebody, they're telling us they love us, there's flowers and candy, we get a ring. That's what love is. And that if you don't have that particular love, then you don't really have the good stuff. But that's not true. There are many different kinds of love. And all of them are equally as important. Just like there are many different kinds of spirituality, and all of them are equally as important. The love for your pets, the love for your plants, the love of you, that's the most important. Self-love, the most important. The love for your friends, the love for your family. And when I say family, I mean family biological or chosen, the people you consider to be your family. The love of your place in the world. The love of your light working when it actually works. The love of your gifts, the gifts that you were given as a human being. Your talents, your ability to laugh, your smile that heals people. These are all part of your love. And I know as isolated as we've all been the last 2 years, and not being able to really see people, hug people, be with people, see their faces and how they react when you walk in a room, sometimes it's hard to know how loved you are. So I'd like to remind you with this blessing. You are loved, and you are love. Spirit put you here with a design and a purpose and all of the tools that you need to have a beautiful life. to be loved by others as you are loved by Spirit, and to love yourself as God loves you. Because you are love, and you are loved. And every day you should say that to yourself when you get up and when you go to bed. I am love, and I am love. All of this, right? The clothes, the jewelry, the makeup, the hair, the skin. This is all just a thing. They give you all this stuff when you come here and give you the tools to put the rest of it together. It's not really who we are. Who you are is your soul. Who you are is your essence. Who you are is your spirit. God made you as a ball of love because you are love and you are loved. And no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's going on in the lives of others around you, whether you're having a good day, a great day, a bad day, a lousy day, a mediocre day, a day that's meh, it doesn't change these two essential elements about you. You are loved, and you are love. You are the essence of love. Because you are made of love. When you are home, right, which is where I like to call, some people call heaven, I call home. It's love. At the core, we are love. We are put here to love. We are put here to be loved. And sometimes people say, well, I don't know how to love. No, you don't remember how to love because you are love. And you are loved. And every day that you are here on the earth, even though you are not viscerally in the presence of Spirit, you are not at home. Spirit is here with you, holding your hand and reminding you that you were put here because you are love and you are loved. So don't ever think that you don't have a purpose, that there's not a meaning to your life, that you're an accident, that you're not supposed to be here, that there's no reason for you. Because you are love. And you are loved. You are loved by those in your life. You are so loved by God. You are loved by those of us here at Founders MCC. And you are loved by me. I might not be able to keep the lights on right now, but I love you. Ellen says, lost my love last year to COVID. Valentine's Day will be hard. Love from my family got me through. Let's all send some love. Right now, let's send some love and a prayer to Ellen. Because I cannot even imagine what it's like to lose your partner to COVID. I've lost so many friends, and it's hard. So let's see some hearts and some happy faces and whatever it is that you got. All right, my friends, thank you for being here. We will be here next month, same day, March 12th, 5 o'clock Pacific time. I don't know if I will be in the sanctuary or I'll be here. Either way, I sure do love you. And no matter how you see me, you will see me. Please go to foundersmcc.com, .org, foundersmcc.org, sheenametalspiritual.com. And if you want to watch past services, RevSheena, Please, if you'd like to donate, we would love that. I do a virtual prayer intention box. Every full moon and new moon, I say prayers for folks. If you have a prayer you'd like me to say, please send me an email or a text message, and I'm happy to do those for you on one or both of those occasions each month. You can find me at a quick way to go is contactsheena.com. Has my email, has my text message. Thank you, Pastor Keith, for having me. Thank you all for being here. Remember how loved you are. And we will always think of me as the Valentine's girl that couldn't get the lights to go on. Before I leave, I always like to make sure that I say a prayer or a poem or something that I leave with. I was hoping to have some light, but I think we're probably going to be dead for this. I think we're well and truly dead now, my friends. So we have a phone, but we don't have lights. This is my favorite passage in the Bible altogether. Of course, it's about love. And I probably read this to someone almost every day. Love is patient, love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects. It's always true, always hopes, always preserves. Always always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. Just love, my friends, and find out what you love. Thank you all for being here. I love you all so much, and you mean so much to me. Thank you for taking part in Saturday Night Spiritual Service this month, and I'll see you next month. Take care, my friends.